Hinton Hodge.
Interesting enough, the first question I actually had written down was, could you tell me a little bit about the history? Because when you started out with your school year, about 50% Latino was said, and African American and Asians, I think, took up the balance of that. And now, since that time, it's gone up to being 90%. Mm-hmm. And so could you just, I know that our city is changing quite a bit. And you know, fewer African Americans within Oakland. So I'm just wondering if you could just tell me what's that attributed to?
Sure. In the early years of Ascend, we did not have a boundary, and we served students from all over the city. Once the school options process was instituted, our boundary became the Fruitville District, and therefore we reflect the demographics of our district. We are a neighborhood school.
Thank you. I'm going to try to stay away from the soapbox and the speeches, but there was a comment about a wake-up call for everyone in the room, and I'm actually very excited. I think after like 3 years of being on this board, this conversation that I've wanted to have around how do we get rid of this charter versus publics and that kind of thing. And so I'm actually feeling very excited about the courageousness of the conversation that the parents and teachers are actually bringing to it. So I wanted to hear a little bit more. We talk about these 4 conditions, and I know within West Oakland what happens when you don't have the right conditions, but you say you're going to do reform, but you don't back that up in any kind of real way. So and someone talked about, again, yes, this wake-up call. And so I wanted, could you tell me at what point you had conversations either with OEA or even the district, and can you be like just give me 1 to 2 examples of the staffing issue beyond the layoff notices? Because in a lot of ways we felt like we were doing that to be safe, and I understand it created a hardship within community. But maybe around professional development, can you give at least 1 or 2 ideas around what we would specifically need to change and adjust in order to see Ascend actually stay within this system?
I think a perfect example of that is the priority placement system. We have had a number of teachers placed at our school in the last few years who have not been hired in the way that we normally hire, which is by our teacher, parent, and principal hiring committee. And the reason that we have a hiring committee that includes both teachers and parents is to ensure that the adults who come to work at Ascend truly believe in the same beliefs that we do, are committed to our mission, and possess the skills necessary to serve our students well. And instead, over the last couple of years, we've had quite a large number of teachers placed through the priority placement process where they have chosen us, but we have had no opportunity to interview them. And that match doesn't always work very well. They haven't come and visited us to see if we're a good match for them either. And so, that's just one example of a process that I have worked on a number of principal advisory groups, et cetera, and asked for changes, but have been unsuccessful in achieving those changes.
And just to clarify, because this is your business, it's your craft. So priority placement, is that actually regulated through the California State Ed Code, or is that regulated through our OEA contract?
It's local. Ed Code allows for flexibility.
Thank you.